What's up, everybody in the YouTube universe? Who That Comics here, and we have
Boston Chris.
this is episode 12, I believe.
Yes.
I just put a little title, "The Force is Strong," but episode 12, man, and we both have been caught up on Star Wars, so we're definitely going to be talking about that just to let people know. I'll do a little unboxing. I have a little unboxing later. I'll do and show some pickups I got, and probably gonna talk about because they only have like 3.5 months left of the year, and maybe like any goals left that we're gonna try to achieve. Maybe just push everything back to 2024, stuff like that. What else did I have? What else? I forgot what else I put on there, like to kind of talk about. But the WGA strike. I didn't tell Chris about this, but I know 2 studios that are holding up the strike for the writers. So definitely want to touch on that. And what are people's thoughts about that? Because it's a very interesting times we have. Like it's actually technically 2 studios holding up everything. What's up, Kenneth? How you doing tonight?
I saw something with one of the presidents of a company that wants to make. Basically, he's taking a stand, or at least says he is, because of the fact that it's I guess gone far longer than he wanted it to, and there's ramifications. Let's just say that.
And I might do a super chat giveaway if we get enough people in here watching. I might do a super chat giveaway. I got a slab here, slab there, raw book. You never know, but I might do a super chat giveaway. So if you guys want to do the super chat giveaway, man, just start entering in. I might do this slab. I do have a raw signed book over here.
I was looking at
Web of Spider-Man 97. It's a little something. So got that. Can do the super chat giveaway. So every I guess dollar. If we get enough, we need at least I would say at least 30 entries. So it's like $30 worth to do the giveaway. So if anybody wants to do the giveaway, if not, if you do enter in, you'll just get put on the monthly giveaway. Or not the monthly, but the giveaway I do on my channel. So that's a little something. What's up, John? How you doing? So let's just jump right into Ahsoka. Actually, I'm very happy overall with the series, how it's going. Kind of wish it was a little bit longer because I believe it's 6 episodes and we're on the last episode. So I'm hoping this last episode is like an hour long. So very happy with that. I think everything's going good. A good step in the right direction with Star Wars with Jon Filoni and Favreau. I'm excited to see what happens in the next episode. But I think it's been solid episodes. Even I think we had 5 or so. I think we had, let's say 1.5 filler. I would say of episodes.
Yeah.
Out of all, yeah. So, but I've actually been okay with the filler episodes. It kind of explains stuff and helps lay stuff out for the future.
I think it's been good too. I think it's been good. I think that as far as the way that it's been presented, the way that they've made it, it looks really good. Like it's something that visually is pleasing. I think story has been pretty good. And really, as somebody who never watched Rebels, and I never watched the expanded Clone Wars, so when they did all those seasons of the Clone Wars itself, I remember watching the miniseries that was on Cartoon Network right before Revenge of the Sith came out. But as someone who hasn't watched it, it's not something that I was really lost or didn't get to know anybody. It was, I think a pretty good introduction to characters that have been established that I've never seen before, that I'm all right, I get a little bit of understanding about them. So I mean, will I go back and watch Rebels at some point? Probably, just because I've never seen it. So I think that overall it's a good kind of jump in and not have a problem. It's not something that where you're punished for not knowing what's going on. I think they do a good job of explaining who people are, what they're doing, and then kind of giving you, I guess, the roadmap as to like where they want to go.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I haven't watched any of those shows as well. I would love to get probably into the Rebels because I heard that was a good kind of lay like explain some stuff that's going on here. But so much stuff to watch, so it's gonna be like hard.
Yeah,
But
I think it's like
yeah,
7 or 8 seasons, so it's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. And Clone Wars, I think, is even like a like same amount or something like that. It's
Something like that.
it's
Yeah.
it's a lot. So it's like I would love to get into it. It's probably gonna be something that I just have to like touch when I'm like free and have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Just be like watching it. But yeah, I will put it on the list to watch stuff. It's just that yeah, it's not gonna. I know I'm not gonna be able to knock it out like in a weekend or something like that.
No, no.
But I do like I like how they're kind of explaining the Ahsoka character and kind of like her because she's almost like a neutral kind of, I would say, Jedi, and that's how I'm feeling. I'm not saying that's correct. People who are like Star Wars aficionados, but that's how I've been feeling with her with
Yeah.
the white lightsaber. It's like she's not really good, she's not really bad, but she's kind of like for herself. Like when that's why I say with
she's
neutral.
a neutral. Like she's neutral, but she has connections to, the Jedi, and to yeah. I mean that's basically she has connections to the Jedi just because if you went back and you watched Mandalorian, she basically takes Grogu to get trained by Luke Skywalker, so she has a connection at least to be able to say, hey Luke, what's going on. I have a Padawan that you might want to look into, and like so it's just kind of but she's not one to go ahead and I guess jump in on her side. Like she's, I guess, an ally more than anything else. Like she's not gonna full out be a straight Jedi master, but she'll if something evil came along, she would be there to try to help with the fight, and then go around with it.
Blika says she didn't complete her Jedi training, so she's not actually a Jedi. But I don't know if he's up to date on the show. That's why I asked if he wants to jump on, because didn't she just complete it? I'm not, I'm not sure.
Well, the thing is, it's just like like there's so many who are like I mean, because technically Luke Skywalker didn't complete his training. You know what I mean? As much as because he goes to Dagobah, he finds out that has the vision that Leia and all of them are gonna die, and then he goes to Bespin.
I would say not any of these people actually like have completed the Jedi training.
Those two stick out in particular because it's like Luke.
Kylo Ren didn't complete his either.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's just like and then when you go back to and Rey really didn't have any training per se. She kind of, I mean, her training was so bare bones. It wasn't what it was. So
couches and such and what's going on. Yeah, so it's like a lot of them haven't completed any of the training.
But that's the thing. It's just like I mean, in the case of Luke, he was basically when he went back to Dagobah, he went to go complete it, and Yoda was dying. He's like, "No, you did enough. You're good. Your training's complete. You're good now," which is not, I mean, and that kind of I'll say this much. It kind of explains as to like why he didn't go ahead and have the whole, like when you look at how everything kind of went down, it explains why he's flawed and why he couldn't kind of deal with everything, and why he had why the Jedi Temple that Luke had set up ended up failing, just because he was never he never got to be that point where he was revered as a master. It was all just kind of different as far as like what he was concerned. Like you got as far as you know how to tell people how to like use the Force, and that's about it. Like that's about as far as he got. But when it comes to how like Yoda and everybody was kind of like Yoda and the other masters kind of held themselves in a different regard. So it was like, okay, like you could tell they went through it and they were kind of like they had a different air about them. So that's the difference. And I think that that's why I think when people look at those characters and they see like, okay, people be like, oh, I love Luke, and I think people kind of relate better to those ones because it's like, yeah, like they didn't fully complete it all, but they're still really powerful. They're still, they're not like, it's either this way or that way. They're just kind of like, like they have their flaws. They wear them on their sleeves.
I'm gonna answer. I was gonna type it in, but I'm gonna answer your that doesn't count, Leaker. That didn't count for the Disney slash universe. That doesn't count. They're using what they want to use out of any books or any things. They say not all of it matters or whatever. So, but to let the people know, I might be doing this as a giveaway if we get some super chats. So if we get some super chats, I'll give this away, free shipping. It's a Web of Spider-Man 97. Actually, it's a first appearance. First appearance of Dr. Kevin Trench, who becomes Night Watch. Oh.
Yeah. That's I do
actually. Yeah, but if we get up to like I said, I say 25 or 30, like $30 worth of super chats. So one person actually can do $30 and have 30 entries. But you get up to $30, I'll give away this book. I didn't even realize it was a first appearance. If we don't get up there, it's okay. Maybe next time. Liga says fair play. Hey, that's what they said. That's what they said. So I know they're actually picking certain things, especially Filoni. They're giving like Filoni a little rein on what to do.
Well, that's because if you got to go into like the books and everything, it's just like you are missing. Like Mara Jade isn't involved. What's it called? There's I think 3 solo children that not just one. Like there's was it? And then Luke I think has a couple kids of his own. So it's just like there's a whole bunch of stuff that kind of happens that in those books in the extended or expanded universe that they haven't really touched on. But I say really when it comes down to it, it's something that that's why those exist. And so it's just like any other book, and I'll say like that's like I guess the best one I can give from my own I guess experience of reading stuff would be like if you ever read the Harry Potter books, it's like they were pretty close to the movies were pretty close, but there's a lot of stuff they left out. And then as they got, I want to say to like the 4th and definitely the 5th movie, the 4th and 5th book, like the 5th book 100% they changed a lot of shit because that book was very long. So it's like they got rid of a lot of things. They reworked some stuff, and it's not close to like if you read the book, like the book is better than the movie. That's what I'll say. But then like the 6th one was pretty good. It also was very different. But and then like the 7th book, they try to stay as faithful as possible to it. So it's just like it's kind of a weird thing. But like any book has differences,
Yeah, that's like the comic. The comic didn't really know anything about the movie, so they just made stuff up. That's what if I remember what Roy Thomas and they were talking about. They didn't know anything, so they just that's why you have first appearance of characters that have never been any of the movies or TV shows. That's from the comic, the Marvel comic. Like was it Jinx, the bunny rabbit? I think that's the name. So it's kind of funny how they, like Bleeker said, they pick and choose what they want to proclaim, even though it's not canon. I mean, I kind of like that they are at least doing that because they could act like they could still just act like it doesn't exist at all. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the toughest part is like I think for them to go back and because when you really look at it, as much as it's like, well, we can go ahead and just like none of that, like we didn't come up with that story and all that stuff, so it doesn't exist, doesn't matter. But then it's just like so then now you have to write that stuff from scratch and what are you gonna do? And I think that also can kind of get into like a plagiarism thing as well. Because what if something that you say that you're making up from scratch is brand new and never ends up being along the same lines of something that was already written way back whenever? It's just like, you know what? Now you got to worry about getting sued and everything else. It's like, you know what? We will go ahead and we'll use some of this stuff and say, you know what I mean? Just because like when you look at it, you have 30 or 40 years of written story and characters and everything like that you can just draw from wherever you want. So it's just like, it's probably better for them to do it in that way because that way they don't have to worry about trying to do it from scratch. That's just my thoughts on it because it's like as much as you want to be like, well, that's not canon because we didn't do it. But, we'll figure it out as we go along. It's like you'll probably see a lot more stuff be adapted over just because it's easier to use somebody else's stuff and then maybe tweak it a little bit than to come up with stuff from the ground up.
Yeah, Cad Bane, but didn't Cad Bane make an appearance in the Marvel? I mean, not Marvel. Yeah, the Marvel comic Star Wars.
Well, not until
The,
way later. Cad Bane was Dark Horse 100%, and then
but I know that. But I'm saying, didn't he? But I'm saying, didn't he make an appearance in the
way
comics
later.
that they say? Yeah, but I'm saying the comics they say that are canon. Didn't like?
Yeah. I want to say it was after they had launched all those new Star Wars titles. I think like he kind of started. He kind
It
of
was
made
like
it in
I think wasn't it like it was Dark. The Darth Maul issue 2,
something like that.
Yeah, Darth Maul issue 2, the Marvel run, I believe.
Yeah,
that book
so
got expensive.
Well, just because they knew he's going to be in the they knew he's going to be in the Mandalorian. But
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of
like what do you like? Do you think? And the chat can answer this as well. Do you think the show? Because I don't know what the answer is. Do you think the last episode of Ahsoka is going to be it, and we're just going to go into the movie, or will we get another season in Mandalorian? Or
I don't know. I mean, really,
Ahsoka Tano,
I mean, honestly, I think if there was no strike, I would say probably just because you can set more things up for a movie. If you do
and how they do these shows, they can knock them out pretty quick.
Yeah, the thing is though, like with the strike, it's going to be hard to say just because if they wanted to do another season of a show or two and then lead into a movie, it's going to take a while. It's just going to, because you have to wait for the strike and then you have to, push all that back. So it all depends on how far back they. But really, it's kind of a situation that, no matter what they want to do, they're going to have to it's going to have to be on the back burner for a while. So, but and then that's the other thing too, like what Bleak is saying that where it's like Rosario Dawson's too expensive to have ongoing.
I disagree with that one.
I mean, I don't know about
that she's a celebrity actress, but she's not A list. I think she's. I don't even know if she's B in my opinion, but she's one of my favorites. So.
I think that the thing that you're gonna have problems with though is that maybe not she's one of the biggest people on the show, so it's like the problem that you're gonna have is that if she's all right, so we're going to do this, and it's going to be pushed back to, basically, we were hoping to have this all done by 2025. It's now going to be 2027 before we can, tentatively 2027 before we can get this whole thing done again. She's like, well, I really don't know if I want to play this character for another, 4 or 5 years because of the fact that,
it's work. It's work. She would do, well, I know she would do it. Because it's not like she has a lot. Now your boy, what's his name? The guy who plays Mandalorian, Din Djarin, he's actually more expensive than her because if you look at, he's been in a lot more recent stuff and been more demand than her. I mean, he got the Last of Us series. He had the movie. He did a movie with what's his name? He did the movie with oh man, I can't think of the actor's name. But he played like a drug guy who loved this. Nicolas Cage. He played that Nicolas Cage in that Nicolas Cage movie, which he was awesome in. He played that movie. He's been a lot of demand and a lot of stuff. So he's actually, I would say, more expensive than Rosario Dawson. I don't think she's as expensive, but I'm not saying for her for an ongoing series. I'm just saying season 2 to tie more stuff in.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, it's hard to say now because it's all
really, but it's all Dave Filoni. That's his. Oh yeah, he was in Wonder Woman. He was in Wonder Woman 2. I forgot about that.
He was what's it called? Victor. Was it Victor Fortune or whatever his name was? Something Fortune.
Yeah. So but yeah. What was I say? I lost my track. But it's Dave Filoni. That's his baby, his character. He created that character. So if he wants to do another season or he wants more of her, we're gonna get more of her.
It just
And
depends. It
so
just depends on how everything kind of works out. Just because, I mean, as much as it's like, you would want to say like, oh, it's gonna be that, like, you never know, because it's all about. I mean, and it all depends on how everything works out and how it goes. Just because, you know, um, the strike in itself is just, it's just really kind of crazy, and it's going to, um, it's definitely gonna be a tough thing for, I think, a lot of, I mean, everybody involved in it, and then just for entertainment in general. It's like, so what's new? Like, what do you watch? And it's gonna be kind of crazy, because there's not gonna be. I mean, there's gonna be a point where everything that they've made, that's supposed to be new, is gonna be it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost kind of, I mean, it almost makes sense for them to kind of, wait and keep pushing things back, just because it's like,
it's
if you're gonna
good.
release it, then what are you gonna do? Because I think about Loki, it's just like, okay, and if that's gonna have, more to do with, Kang and where they're going, and it's like, yeah, well, you might not get that for another couple. I mean, you might not get the next piece of that pie for another, maybe like, 2 or 3 years, the way that shit's going. So it's kind of weird as to how they're doing, like, everything that's going on. So it's just like, um, I think that, when it comes to just, figuring this whole thing out, it's just, and I haven't paid too much attention. I've seen bits and pieces, but like, there's no reports as to like, kind of like where everyone is. Like, are they even close? Like, is anyone even negotiating? Is anything?
We can kind of slide into kind of talk about well, I know some information about the writer strike. I don't really know much about the actor strike. The actor
Yeah,
strike, I think, is pretty basic. Really, I think it's simple, but because I think it's a simpler than the writers, in my opinion. But I know more information about the writers, which is crazy.
yeah,
So the writers have a couple of things. It's a couple of things going on with the writer strike. The writer strike, they want to put in some kind of verbiage in the new contract that's more 80s, 90s verbiage for his like writing rooms or something. Like they want, for his like I think residuals and all kind of stuff like that. Um, it's it's
this
not
is the
as
right
easy. It's not the writers side. Also on the writers thing, there's only a couple of studios that really are holding up the whole process, and it's Amazon and Netflix.
Yeah,
Everybody else is pretty much kind of said like we kind of okay with some of the majority of the demands from the WGA, but
yeah.
the people that's holding up everything is not Disney. It's Netflix and Amazon.
Well,
And
because
the
they're the
reason
one.
Amazon, yeah, Amazon's such big is a big entity. They don't want to give any leeway to writers. You know what I mean?
And that's the problem. It's just like, like those are, I would say, those are going to be the two biggest,
Mm-hmm.
offenders of it all. Just because, I mean, Netflix has got, like, if you look at Netflix in general, I'm not saying anything bad about them specifically as far as like being a bad company or anything like that, but just like, they've profited and had their way with this for so long that it's just like, you know for
But
them.
it's so funny is they're just starting to be profitable recently.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is just like, but that's what I mean. Is just that, like, they're not as big as an Amazon, so it's just like, I think for them, they're more concerned that, like, well, if we have to start paying out lists, like, we might be in trouble. We might have to stop doing what we're doing, and, you know
Mm-hmm.
go back to like licensing stuff instead of making our own stuff, which, that's not good for them. But then on Amazon's side, Amazon's just more of a greed thing.
Amazon's newer in the market, and even
Yeah,
though they're like
but it's just greed
even though they
because they
have
have
more money than Netflix, like money,
yeah,
but it's the company that has more money. They're still in developing their streaming stuff. Really, they're still
yeah.
like an infant in their streaming, so they
No,
don't want to give too much leeway to the writers, and that's going to lose money and delay stuff, and probably cancel stuff.
no.
Um,
Amazon
yeah.
Amazon is just a very rich company, and the thing is that, like, they're just, I don't even think it's anything like that. I think that it's like they were excited that people wanted to make stuff on their platform, and it helped them kind of grow it. But in generally, it just like, it's a situation where they kind of let this get out of hand, as far as how far it went. And because of that, like this is what you end up getting, just because it's a situation where it's just like, you're making more money, and here it is. Like it's just like anything else. Like whenever you look at it, and people will start to say like, how it's a situation of this is what I'm working on. Like I'm working like it's like a musician. I have a platinum album and I'm broke, or I have I'm on I'm a writer on the top show on television, yet I'm eating ramen noodles every day because I can't afford anything. Like you know what I mean? And I think that it's pretty much a situation that they just are looking at it where this is something that you can't keep things that same way forever when the money changes, when there's a difference. I mean, just think about it in terms of any job you have. Like if you're being asked to do way more, even though like if your responsibility is expanding and just keeps expanding, and you're doing like 3 or 4 times the amount of work you were, and you're doing jobs for multiple areas where you were once just I got hired to do this is how much I was getting paid and got hired to do this, and there was 5 or 6 other departments that used to do these things, and now I'm doing it for them, or I'm doing it like I should be getting paid more. Like that's just the way it is. So, and I think that's where the writers are coming from, and I understand that. I think that for that being a situation, it needs to be resolved. And I did see a thing where it was like what's his name, David Zaslav. He's the WB Discovery guy, president, and he's saying something like he said something along the lines of that he wanted to like he's gonna work and fight to stop the strike, because of the fact that even though people are like, oh, well, they're saving money, they're also losing money. It's just a situation where they know where things are, and it's just like like because if you think about it from the point of view, it's like, well, we save money because we're just canceling projects. We don't have to put all these projects out, and it's great, and we can just cancel the stuff and it's fine. You're also on the other side of that coin, you're not putting anything out, so no money's coming in, and you need the money coming in to offset whatever goes back and forth, and that's just the way that all works. So like good products that make you profit are what you need. Bad projects that lose you money, yeah, it sucks, but you know what, you can offset it by this. So it's like if you have something that makes $1 billion, you can afford a movie that you dumped 150 million into that only made 60. It's like you can do that. But if you have nothing coming in, then eventually like that's when everything starts to go south. So, and it's just it's funny because a lot of people think that everything is too big, like all that stuff is too big to fail, and it's not. It really, like I'll tell you right now, there's no business, I don't think, at all that's too big to fail. If you take away its money for a long enough period of time where they're not making any kind of money whatsoever, everything has to start getting
like honestly, that's what actually look like it's like happening in the AMC theaters. Even though like movies like you had Barbie, you had Oppenheimer, you had all these movies that are actually doing very well, but they're still on the verge of bankruptcy, and that's why they like the Taylor Swift movie concert thing. They're loving it right now because they're selling out theaters. Like even though they were doing the same thing with Barbie and all this stuff, but it's like a unexpected event.
Yeah. Well, because they didn't think that. I'm sure they were like hoping, but I don't think that they expected for it. It's like, oh shit, people are gonna pay all this money to go see a Taylor Swift, concert in a movie theater or something like that. Like an event, like it's crazy. It's not like she's showing up to every theater, but like her fans want to see her on screen. Like her fans want to see her as much as possible. And the thing too, that people have to remember is why else is it popular like that? Because everybody who couldn't get a ticket to that tour that she did now can go and see her, and it's going to be a fraction of the price that you would. So of course, like everybody's going to go in droves. That's why I say, if the rumors of her actually going into Deadpool end up becoming true, that movie's going to make crazy money because all these Taylor Swift fans are like, I want to, and she'll be in that movie for 15 seconds, and they'll go and they'll be mad that she was only in for 15 seconds, but you'll get all their money, and that'll be the most expensive 15 seconds they ever seen in their life.
I think. Yeah, with these numbers that are coming out from the Taylor Swift thing, I got a feeling Marvel and DC are gonna try to get her in something long term. Like it's like even if it's like not a full, like it's like she's not starring, even if she's like part of the team or something. You know what I mean? Like she's really
Yeah.
Dazzler. Like she might have like she's like yeah I'm you know she's not a full-fledged
Yeah.
team member, but she's there. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is that they have
So
to negotiate to get. That's the toughest part is that they have to negotiate to get her because I mean she doesn't need like as much as like she's the biggest music act in the world right now. She doesn't
her and
need.
Beyonce are like I would say about like what and
Yeah,
what because
she
they're
doesn't
both
need that
selling
kind
out
of.
stuff.
Well, here's the deal. So and this is and you bring up Beyonce too. It's just like the last movie that she was in. I mean, the last movie that she was really in. What was that Austin Powers movie? But that was like when she like when she was still in
That's what she was. They said Destiny's Child.
yeah,
Yeah.
she wasn't yet Beyonce yet, and now she's like, I mean, this is like she doesn't need to do like she makes more money, doing concerts and stuff like that than she ever would making a
Well,
movie.
they actually both do. They both like well now Taylor Swift does because
Yeah, oh no, yeah, exactly.
well
So it's
her
like,
first album or whatever she didn't make any really money when she first came out. Just same thing as Beyonce really didn't make any first when he first came out. But now like where are they at now? It's like it's hard to convince somebody to come in for like $2 million or $3 million to do a little cameo because you're not going to pay them $20 million for a cameo.
yeah, exactly.
And even 20 million might not be like worth it when they make X amount of millions on
well, I mean, it wouldn't even be just that. It wouldn't be like that. You're looking at that like is the upfront money. Like you still got to guarantee them a piece of all this different stuff. So it's just like they would be making a ton, and the negotiation for it would be like a ton of money. It would have to be a situation where like if they really really like love something and like no, I'll do it for this like as a favor because I really just love this thing. Like yeah, I'll definitely go ahead and be in this for 30 seconds because I'm
a lot of artists don't write their own songs.
Yeah,
a lot of artists. Like this is not a Mastodon's music show. If you want to do that, but yeah, there's tons of people. They actually got people who actually are artists that write music for other, so it's a weird thing. It's a weird 50 Cent. I mean, 50 Cent wrote a lot of songs that people don't even. 50 Cent wrote a song for P. Diddy. Like,
well, just I mean, it's that. It's like I mean, that goes back like way back. Like it was like the Temptations had like songwriting. Like people would write the songs for them. But no, I'm gonna write you a hit song because that's what I do. Yeah, you go ahead and you sing. Like you sing this. I'll write it. You perform it because no one's gonna pay to see me perform it. But I'll write this song. You go ahead and perform it, and we'll both get money off of this thing.
Yeah. And I have to say they don't have ghostwriters anymore because of publishing and royalties and all kind of stuff, all kind of money stuff now. You ain't got ghostwriters no more because they back in the day they had ghostwriters. They just cut you a check and for writing whatever. But now these writers have gotten smart and say, yeah, you can cut me the check, but but I'm still gonna be on the music and all this other stuff. But yeah, we're not talking spoilers tone. We ain't talking. We just talking about how we like it and what's going on. What do we see it going further? Do we? Well, if they didn't have the writers and actor strikes, do we assume that they will try to do a season each of different things? I would hope so. Just the only reason I say I hope so because Ahsoka's only 6 episodes. I think you could do another 6-episode series. It's basically a mini series. It's not even a series. And Mandalorian is basically. I think they've gone to they're like 8 normally. So like you could actually do another season of each.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, because it wouldn't. It wouldn't. I don't think it would be too bad. You could draw up more characters that you kind of brought into certain roles. Of the movie like Ahsoka, so I think it could work out. They did, but we don't know what's going to happen with the strike because I don't even know if because they actually got a movie. Actually, I forgot it was coming out because they haven't been advertising it because the actors can't advertise it. But Expendables, the new Expendables is actually coming out next week, I believe, or the week after. And I actually want to see it because they got a lot of some of the martial arts action people are in it that I actually used to like watching. like Tony Jaa and stuff like that. But I totally forgot about it because they can't promote it.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know what's going to happen because the next big movie is not Miss Marvel, the Marvels, and I actually enjoyed the trailers, but they can't promote it, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't know I think I think once we get to October, I wouldn't be surprised if that got pushed back to next year.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the thing. It's just like I like as much as like, oh, we could push it back and try to make it's just like I think the problem that you're gonna have with that is that like I think that anything that just because they already have the stuff in the theaters and everything, I don't think they'll push it back. I think they'll just put it through.
And
Just
the funny thing is, they probably shouldn't have pushed. They probably shouldn't have pushed it back the first time because they switched dates with the Haunted Mansion, and guess what the Haunted Mansion was able to promote, even though it didn't make any money, but they were able to promote that movie and advertise for the movie. Rosario Dawson and a lot of other people who were in the movie actually promoting the movie.
Yeah.
I know Rosario and a couple of the actors were at Essence Fest in the summer and they were promoting the movie. So it's like, I know they're probably like kicking themselves like, man, I wish we wouldn't have delayed it. They probably had, I think they had some stuff they had to fine tune in the movie, but I know they probably wish they didn't have to because, that at least they would have the actors and actresses would have been promoting it,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that I think that I don't think it'll get pushed back again. I think they'll just keep it just because it's something where when there's not because that's like what I was saying before. Even though there's nothing out there, there's nothing out there for promotion. People still can have an idea that it's coming out at a specific time in that point. And if there's nothing else, it's just going to go out there unopposed and it's going to make a bunch of money. So I mean, not as much as let's really, really be honest about it. Like it probably wasn't gonna make like it wasn't gonna be like your next $1 billion movie just because there's gonna be a lot of people that are going to just rain on it because it's I almost said Alison Brie, not Alison Brie. What's her name? Brie Larson, and people are like I don't like Brie Larson, and it's gonna be it's a female-led cast. I'm not a fan of that, and so you're gonna have a lot of naysayers in the first place, and I think that that would kind of keep it not from being just a huge movie as far as money is concerned. But if there's really nothing else out there, like if that's literally like either your only or best choice, I think people would just see it because of the fact that there's nothing else. Like, and that's what people really have to get used to. Like you're gonna get to a point where there's nothing. Like there's no, what they'll do, honestly, if there's nothing to show for, like if it's going to be, let's say, like a year with no new movies, they're going to just start re-releasing a bunch of stuff. It's like, so all these things that you may have never seen in the theaters, or the last time you saw it was as a kid, they're going to put it back in theaters again. So don't be surprised if you see like, oh, we're re-releasing Titanic, and they've already done it, but we're re-releasing this. Or like, who wants to go see Star Wars in the theaters again? Who wants to see Pee-wee's Big Adventure in the theaters? Something stupid like that. Like they will put stuff back in there because they can get their hands on it. Oh, Pulp Fiction's back in the theaters. Let's go see that. Like
I have to disagree with Bleeker's comment. People did not hate Miss Marvel unless you're talking about Captain Marvel. People didn't hate Miss Marvel. They just more people. Miss Marvel was probably one of the best shows the Marvel had out. A lot of people talk up the WandaVision show. That show was actually terrible for the first 2 episodes. I'm gonna be honest. People only talk about the last like 3 episodes. But it really was. It was very boring. But the Miss Marvel was actually very good. It might have not been written for the average white male, but sorry, the character, we know the character's history and where it came from. So I disagree, but I know Captain Marvel. A lot of people didn't like Captain Marvel. They said put old Quentin Tarantino. Oh Lord, not near man. What's going on, not near man? The visuals were good on that show. Yeah, the visuals were good. I mean, the show, the writing, everything was good. The family aspect. Just want to promote this one more time because I don't think nobody's. Look, this is what I want to do for a super chat giveaway. It actually is the first appearance of Dr. Kevin Trench, who later becomes Nightwatch. But you got to get $30 in super chats, or it could be in the Cash App, but it will give you 30 entries and do this as a giveaway at the end of the show. If we don't get it, it's okay. I'll do something else with it. But I want to do this as a super chat giveaway. Hopefully we can get there. Just want to let you guys know. So I see like 3 different people in here. But yeah, yeah.
Like that's 100% the easiest thing to do. It's like, oh, there's no new movies. All right, hey, listen, like what do we do? Get a bunch of 80s people, a bunch of kids.
I got a feeling they're not going to do that. You know what they're going to do? Taylor Swift was very sold out theaters and popular, right? Next is going to be Beyonce. I'm just saying, Beyonce might be in the theater.
But you're not going to be in a year straight. Like that's not going to replace movies. No.
They're not talking about replace. Movie theaters need to make money. They don't care about replace. They put anything in there if it's making money. But that's if they see the Taylor Swift thing and make money. You don't think they're gonna jump on Beyonce to make money? That's what they want. They want to make money.
Oh no, they
re-releasing things don't tend to make as much money as people think.
No, but it's something that's there. It's just like because I get like because they'll look at it like, oh, like all these 80s kids, all the kids who grew up in the 80s want to go and watch movies and take their kids to see stuff. Let's put stuff in that like they grew up as kids seeing. And the thing the only thing that can kind of make it backfire is like, oh well, like why pay money when I can see it on this thing? But then again, it's like I get to see it on the big screen, so it's like I'll see that. Like hey, you want to go see Back to the Future on the big screen? Let's go. And
they actually do kind of do re-releases. Yeah. If you really pay attention to your movie theater, because I'm gonna name a few movies that actually it's not re-releases, but they're showing it again. This movie's not in theater. So they got Top Gun Maverick. That's a $5 favorite at AMC. You could have saw that today. Elemental, $5 favorite. That's a kids movie, but that's a re-showing today. It was one showing, but it was re-showed today. Both of those things had one showing. But but those were so that's what they actually always do that. Do that for AMC. Yeah. I know.
No, this is going to be different though, because it's not going to be like it's not going to be like, oh, like here's a little discount. It's going to be no, like here's the movie that we're putting in there, and it's going to be this thing because we don't have anything else, or like we can show just a bunch of stuff that people like. So it's just like and that's how they're gonna make make up for whatever. I mean, as long as they can't put stuff out like that, that's how they kind of make up for it. So I'm sure that there's people that still have stuff that's in the can that they can go ahead and put out. It's just the situation of if they're not going to get promoted well, and if they think it's not going to be big as far as getting crowds, then they'll go back to that because that stuff works. Like no one's gonna say like no one's just turned down seeing like let's put the Dark Knight back in theaters. People will go back and see the Dark Knight again because they loved it. You know what? Put Batman '89 back in theaters. I'll go back and watch that shit just because
But it's very minute because I mean the biggest movie ever when they re-release it only makes like $1 million or $2 million, which is Avatar. So they always do those little $5 favorites of older movies. Sometimes they're newer, older movies, but sometimes they're older movies of those at AM. And this is AMC I'm talking about. I don't know about any other theaters. I know AMC does the $5 favorites. I don't know if they do it. I know they did today, so I'm guessing they might do it on Wednesdays, but I thought they used to do it on Tuesdays. I guess they changed it.
They just do it in themes. It'll be easy because it's like, okay, like if it goes that way, like it's just like, all right, like you get to like 4th of July or summertime, it's like, all right, we'll do a bunch of, like we can do like I'll tell you a perfect movie that you could do for that. That basically you can have families go to is The Sandlot. Perfect summertime movie for you can take kids to, and it has 4th of July. So if you release it, let's say like what's it called, like second or third week in June, and have it run till like 4th of July and end it there, you make all kinds of money. People would pay money to go see Jaws in theaters again, like, and you can do that easily right around that same time. So it's like you can just kind of just like just have it themed as to which ones you'll just
But yeah, they do that though. Like I said, with the one showing or whatever, I think they're not gonna do a full fledged re release because, like I said, it really doesn't make money. Like when I say it doesn't make money, it actually they lose money doing it, and they waste the theater with like a whole hundred, whatever how many people, and maybe 2 people show up.
Oh no,
So,
they probably won't. I mean, like nothing will be in IMAX. It'll all just be it'll be in like the smaller theaters that they can get. But that like it's just one of those things where it's like I mean, I don't think they'll expect it to bring big crowds, but I do think that like if there's nothing else like that's and then they'll just find a way to just promote that because that's easy. Like they can sit there and run a million different commercials on that or whatever easily if they wanted to. It's just one of those things where it's like it's hopefully it doesn't get to that point because hopefully they figure it out and then you can do something. But it's just like just a long extended layover like that they're gonna have to. It's either that or they're gonna have to close. Like that's just the way it's gonna be. So
I want to do a experiment, and just talking about stuff. So since we were talking about Taylor Swift, I want to look up. I guess it's coming out October 13th here. I guess when they're doing the showing. So they got it in IMAX and Dolby. Look, the 6 p.m. is almost full.
Yeah.
The 6 p.m. is almost full. say it's almost full. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it is full. Besides the handicap, every seat's taken. Every seat's taken.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but that's one of those things.
Look, the 9:30. They got plenty of seats for the 9:30. So if you want to have a late concert,
but you know what the problem is that like so kind of like what you were saying, like they'll make a lot of money, but that's like a weekend thing at best. Like you're not gonna like that's not gonna be in theaters. Yeah, but that's not gonna be in theaters for like weeks. It'll be like you'll have one weekend and maybe 2 weeks total, and then they'll take it out of theaters just because eventually people are gonna be like, I'm not gonna go on
6, 7, 8.
And that's the thing with even the re-releases. Like it's not going to be long periods of time. It's going to be like every couple of weeks they'll just throw one movie out and put another one in.
So they got 3 theaters that are relatively close to me in AMC. 14 showings are almost full. Basically, they're sold. I wouldn't say they're sold. Like I showed you, almost full looked like. So they got 14 showings. They're basically sold out.
Yeah. And it'll be
for a concert in the so
yeah, but
they're gonna make a lot of money at the alcohol bar. I can tell you that they will make some money at the bar. People will be buying alcoholic drinks at the bar.
But that was the thing, it's just like that. That's really just kind of like the shelf life on that is really really like small. Because
I think it'd be a good 2 weeks. I think it'd be good. 2
I don't know.
That's about it.
I think that's the most you'll get. I think you'll basically get. I would say you'll probably get 7 days straight out of it. So if you open it on Friday,
that's why I said. Honestly, I say 2 weeks because of like say you couldn't see it Friday, all showings, and that's the only day you have to wait till next Friday. So that's why I say I think I say 2 weeks, but it's technically a week, but it's really 2 weeks.
You get 2 weekends out of it, and then that'll be it. And then you have and that's why I say like I think that's what like if I was gonna with the putting old movies back in the theater, that's exactly what I think would be the same thing. It's like
but they do the old movies thing like they do the old movies thing. We just don't really pay attention to it.
I understand how you're saying. I'm saying that like that's gonna be. That I think is going to end up being like the status quo because they don't have anything new. Like they're going to have to do something just because.
Well, eventually, if we get to that point, I don't see us getting. You talking about like maybe like 6 more months of the strike?
So,
I
mean, just in general, like because even if the strike, let's say the strike goes till December. It's gonna be a while before they'll put new stuff. Put it this way, like you'll have new stuff, but you're gonna run out. It's gonna be a while before they can put anything. So it's like all right. So starting.
Well, they got stuff that's already done. They'll have that stuff, but they'll be able to promote it better. So
it's just a situation where it's just like you're gonna have so because if it ends then it's like all right. So then you have to promote and then put stuff in. It's just like it's gonna take, and then you're gonna end up like there's not gonna be you're not gonna have in the amount of time that you have. those movies come out, even get promoted and go in the theaters, you're probably not going to have a bunch of other movies ready to go right away. It's probably going to be at least a couple months of that. Like, you're going to need at least, I would say, probably like 3 months or so to go ahead and let other movies either finish up their reshoots or something. So, all right, now it's here, and then we can get it to production. All right, here you go. So in that span of time, that's when you have other stuff kind of, be the way it is.
And to play devil advocate to Not Near Me and Bleecker, we got to realize we're not even 1% of the movie going audience. They just need to have better writing or better whatever. But they don't need to. They just need to make a good product. Overall good product. They don't need to listen to anybody in this chat. They don't need to listen to us, because it's not enough of us that made Avengers Endgame the money. It's not. It was us bringing our spouse, bringing our kids, and then going and see it again, probably by ourselves. Or we were
the ones. So we helped in the initial part of being like, okay, so we were the ones that saw Iron Man, and we were the ones that saw all these other movies that got them to be like, you know what, there's money here to see this Avengers thing.
But we didn't just see those movies. If you look at the numbers, it's impossible.
I know that.
For the comic community.
In the initial, like, we were the ones that were excited to it, that basically talked to everybody and said, oh no, this is going to be awesome. Like,
we talked to the non-comic people or the non-moviegoers to be hey, go see this.
Like, anybody, so anybody who thinks, like, let's say, if Taylor Swift does get into Deadpool 3, like I said before, if anybody who's a comic fan thinks that we, as a whole, are the ones that made that successful, you're out of your fucking mind. I'll say that straight up. Like, you're fucking crazy.
It's gonna make $1 billion, and it's gonna be pushed over $1 billion because of Taylor Swift. It's gonna get.
You know what's going to happen? Honestly, this I think is this would be the scenario that I could see happening from it. Would be they're going to sit, like, they'll come in, they'll watch them, they'll sit there and watch until they get to that Taylor Swift part, and if it's 10 seconds, like, look, it's Dazzler. Hey everybody, how you doing? And then once that's done, once she's off the screen, they know she's not coming back. They'll get up and leave, because they're probably going to
unless they're with their boyfriend or significant other. Who if they're with somebody, they're going to stay through the whole thing. But what it might do, this is what it might do. And you know this for a fact, it might do it if somebody loves that person enough. When that boyfriend or that girlfriend wants to go see this movie again, they're going to go with them because they want to go see that 15 seconds again.
Well, by that time, it'll probably be on YouTube. But that's the thing. It's like that first initial weekend when they make all the money is because you can't get your hands on that little video thing. Or the little, excerpt.
But like seeing it in a big screen, and people who ever went to movies, you can argue all you want. Seeing it on your computer or on your TV, unless you got a $1 million theater, even then it's not compared to a Dolby or an IMAX or even a regular showing. I'll argue that down all day, because nobody
if she does anything more than just walk on and say hi or something like that, like if she actually gets involved in any sort of fighting, oh dude, like that's it. Like especially because they'll sit there, watch that, and then but if she's in the movie in like the very beginning, you see a mass exodus of all the Taylor Swift. All right, thanks, see you later. But in the end, it's just like they still got their money. So, and it's just like, oh, Deadpool made $3 billion. Why? Because Taylor Swift was in it for 5 seconds. And people just, came in and paid their money for it. So that's the thing. It's like, that's why with anything like that, even as much as everybody wants to make it about themselves, like, it's about us. Like, we're the people that they're making these movies for. Yes and no. And that's everything. That's everything having to do with comics and sci-fi stuff, all that stuff. Like, you could be the biggest King Kong fan in the world. They are not making that movie for you. As much as you want to be, it's for me. No, it's not. It's really not. It's for everybody else. So they know that
we don't spend enough money. I always say this comment. They're making these movies with characters we love for everybody else. For everybody else. So you just hope that they write it well, that we can not critique or nitpick on every little aspect. Of stuff.
And to be honest with you, they don't give a shit. Like you can critique and nitpick everything. They don't care. So what?
Yeah.
But they know It's just like everyone who, like everybody who's like, I hate Star Wars and what's happening. They go and see every last thing Star Wars related. Why? Because because for them it's personally in their mind, it's mine, it's my thing, and it should be this way, and don't change it because you can't. And it's just like, yo, dude, that movie came out almost 50 years ago. It's not yours. Is that shit is beyond you. Like they made all the money they were gonna make from you after they did that THS release of the VHSs, and then when they came and re-released it again, the special editions in theaters, they got their money from you again. It's like, dude, all the money that you give them at this point, they've sold you the same movie. Literally, they sold you the same movie for about 30 years, and you ate it up. And then that's all they care about. You're done. They care about your kids and your grandkids now. They don't give a fuck about you. And so that's why being toxic and angry about it is stupid. And I'm not trying to say that like I don't disagree with things like I can't, like I hate Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi special edition with all the extra stupid shit and the because just like like that's what not like Jabba's palace. I hate that scene. It drives me insane just because of how ridiculous it is. It makes me mad. But the thing is that, like, I know it's not for me. And George Lucas, the guy who made it, should have told you it's not for you. Like, I don't care about. Like, he said it in such plain English too to everybody. I don't care about you. It's not for you. It's for these people over here that haven't seen it before, that want to see it for the first time, and it's for them, and it's for the kids. I'm trying to appeal to kids. That's why people are like, oh, Jar Jar Binks, because he wanted to appeal to kids. He didn't care about you. But the thing is that people get so invested and involved that they don't want to hear that, so they get upset.
Follow what Superman did. Get the guy base. All it says, get out of your old ways, not new man. Because I don't know, but they're not gonna do what he says. Like, so that's what I said. Get out of it. This I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, no, I understand what he's talking about. He's saying that, like, the first Superman movie, like they went all out and they got Marlon Brando to be Jor-El. They got what's it called? The guy who wrote The Godfather to like write the movie and everything. And so I know exactly what he's saying. It's just like, but that's the thing. It's just like you have to understand.
Well, if we're in this writer strike, we can't get anybody.
No, but not even that. Like if you wanted, so like let's go. So it's just like, and for the most part, they did that, and they made a lot of people now household names that weren't before, as far as being directors were concerned. Because it's like, oh, like I never really, I've never heard of these people, and now this, like people knew of the Bruce Brothers from television, but they didn't know who they like. There wasn't like
and the problem with with all these people when they get to direct, and I'm gonna show a couple of pickups I got in an unboxing. Problem with they get with all these people once they direct a few big blockbusters, they want to get in producing because that's where the money is, and executive producing. So it's hard to keep those people in those roles. I mean, because even your boy the Guardians, what's his name?
James Gunn.
James Gunn. He's an executive. Yes, he wrote and direct Superman, but I guarantee if it's a hit and it kicks things off in the right trajectory, he might not be involved in anything else but as an executive producer. And he'd be a Kevin Feige type, which is great, but he probably won't have his full hands on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be him directing it, him writing it.
Too. So, as people need to remember that, like, everybody remembers how big and groundbreaking The Matrix was, right? But the first Matrix movie was awesome. And, the Wachowskis, like, people were like, oh my God, like, they're amazing, they're incredible, they're this and that. And then what happened? Like they started to get kind of weird as far as, where they wanted to take things. And then they made that last movie, which was, like, I don't think it was terrible. It was just very different, and it was kind of a weird thing. But, like, for them, the success of The Matrix inflated their head so much that it was like, you can't tell them that, like, oh, like, yeah, this doesn't, like people didn't really they don't understand that they're just not they need to get on my level. It's just like, no, that doesn't work that way. Like, you have to get to their level, because the fact is, like if what you're making, if you made something that everybody kind of resonated with, and then you kind of went a different direction now, people are like, yeah, I don't you're going where I don't know where this is going. I'm not really a fan of this type of thing. Why can't you go back to do it? Well, that was the old me. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing this now because this is where it had like that was the beginning. Now it's getting into the real part of the story. It's like I don't like the whole story. Like, if this is the real part of the story, it sucks. Go back to the beginning.
And you can't always, like I said, you can't always just rely on like to get a great writer or get a great director. Anybody seen District 9? Great writing and great director. Guess what he followed it up with? I think it was Chappie. Not so good. So I don't know if Chappie was next. I know he did a couple of movies that weren't so good, but District 9 was actually great. I could watch District 9 again. Like, and I don't like watching movies over and over, like rewatch it. Like a lot of movies don't have rewatchability to me, but I could watch it again because I really enjoyed it and it really had a good story and really was good. But it's not always the case when sometimes But let me show you. Let me show this. Yeah, you love Chappie. Chappie was so terrible near not Rob. I see why we have a disconnect.
I'll give you somebody right now that if you went back and you watched previous stuff, previous body of work, to go ahead and give you an idea of what they could do, you would have, put it this way, if you went back to an early, not like saying his first, but if you went back to an early movie of Peter Jackson, there's no fucking way in the world you would have thought that man could direct Lord of the Rings at all. And there's a movie called Meet the Feebles, and I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a very, very just weird movie. I saw it once because a friend of mine saw it, and he saw it by accident because his aunt rented it thinking that it was a kids movie. It is not a kids movie at all. It's just like basically puppets, but it's think of the Muppet Show, but just on crack, and that's the best way I can describe it to you.
I gotta answer this real quick. Bleeker, look at the numbers. It didn't bomb at all. It did. That's why he got other movies to do. The movie cost $30 million to make. It made over $200 million in the theaters. Yeah, it was far from a bomb. It actually was. It was. That's why he got those. That's why he got a sequel. Not a sequel. He got to do another movie. That one bombed, and just because he did so well on District 9, he got another one. I think he might did. He's going on his fourth movie or something. But I know he got back-to-back movies that bombed, and that was because of District 9 did so well, and the budget was so low or whatever. But the budget was only $30 million for District 9, and it made. I had to look it up because I thought it did well, and I was right. $210 million. It made $210 million on a $30 million budget.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. It's just like, it's what are they doing? Yeah, go. Trust me. Watch. If you can find that movie, watch it. It's crazy. They're doing drugs. What's it called? They're killing people. It's one of the craziest movies I've ever seen in my life. It's a terrible movie. But Peter Jackson directed it. It was a Peter Jackson movie, and it's just like, and it's funny because it's like you go back and you watch, and it's funny that they re-released it after Lord of the Rings came out, and they said, "Oh, directed by Peter Jackson." Bought it and like, what the fuck is this thing? Like, are you serious? And it's literally like it's literally like the Muppet Show.
You know what movie was not too good? When like if you like the movie that wasn't good, it was like one of his probably his worst movies he's directed was The Terminal with Steven Spielberg. That wasn't a great movie. I actually liked it, but as I think about it and as I try to watch it again, it actually wasn't that good. But that's kind of different from what. So this is something I bought. This is something I bought from a guy off of Instagram called Scary Comics. So
stop.
This has to. Yeah, I got this from Scary's Comics. I was gonna do an unboxing video, like a little unpacking chat, but it's like one book. Plus, I have some other books I want to show off, so that's why I'm just doing this one on here. And the other reason why I'm actually showing, this is a book I probably would hold off to show because of the grade and it is, but I'm kind of having mixed feelings about the hunt stuff. So I've been hold stuff, and then I show it on the hunt. People don't appreciate it on the hunt. So I'm bringing it here because I know people who watch my show, or watch me do live, they actually appreciate the stuff I show, and that's why I'm bringing it here. So you guys get to see it. This and the other two books that I'm going to show that I unboxed earlier here first. So there you
Oh,
have
nice.
it. Futurama #1 in a newsstand
Nice.
with the old school custom kind of space label, which I actually dig. I actually dig it.
Yeah.
For with this book. So which actually kind of sucks about this, because if I get the chance to meet like some of the voice actors again and Bill Morrison, I'm gonna want to get it signed, but I'm gonna end up losing this label because they don't do this label anymore. They like every year they do like the art design labels, but it changes. And I think it's the first one they did. This is the first one they did. So yeah, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to crack it or whatever.
I mean, just gotta find another one.
Yeah, well, he actually has another one. The guy I bought it from, he has a 9.8. He has a 9.8 with the same label. I got this. I did get it for a great deal, so it's always a possibility to pick up the 9.8 from it if I sell some stuff, which I've been having a hard time to do. This one actually looks pretty clean. The only issue is like the very bottom. You see like the very, very bottom, like, with these books like that, you always had issues at the bottom or top of the binary issues. It's not a tear at the bottom, but it's a little white showing. But honestly, I could see it getting signed and possibly probably getting a 9.8, just because that's the only issue with this book. Like I said, he has a 9.8. Maybe I pick up the 9.8 and get this one signed, and use this one as the any investment, get multiple signatures. Who knows? But happy to share this with you guys. I've been watching a lot of Futurama on Hulu, so I had to pick it up because Futurama is like, besides Simpsons, Futurama is like one of my favorites. I like Family Guy too, but I would say it's like the more modern cartoon shows, not including like stuff that just recently came out, like Invincible and all that. That's kind of like my favorite: Futurama, Simpsons, and I like South Park as well. But I forgot the other one. I just said it. But here's two books that I unboxed earlier. The first one I'm showing is going to probably be on the chopping block because I got it as bundled with the other one. But this is the First Lady Deadpool. It's actually very clean. This has color up on the back, so it actually probably couldn't get pressed and probably get a 9496. But First Lady Deadpool, First Deadpool Kid, and Major Deadpool, but it's signed and sketched by Arthur Sudan. So he actually did a zombie head sketch of zombie dead head or whatever you want to call it sketch. But this one I have to say it's probably gonna go bye unless I get Liefeld or somebody else to sign it or something, because Liefeld has something to do with this. But I got that one, and the other one I picked up. This one is going into the PC. Actually, not my PC, my daughter's PC. So I've been getting the female characters, so I end up getting this for a steal. Like when I say steal, I think I had a 9.6 sign on Mark Silvestri. I basically whatever I sold that one for, I basically got that one for this price. And this is a 9.8 sign by Claremont. He signed it in gold on the X. You don't see it great on the camera, but in person it pops pretty good with the gold. Would I crack it to get Mark Silvestri if I ever got the chance to get with him? I would say no, because I think it's like borderline 98. So, but it's gonna stay in a PC, like her PC. So I was happy to get that one. Like I said, the Lady Deadpool, I would love to get a higher grade, maybe that would transition to that. So if anybody's interested in the Deadpool, the Arthur Sudan, you know what to do, baby. I just want to show those unboxings real quick. So, but I've been kind of like holding off stuff, showing doing videos and then showing them later. And I'm like, you know what? The chat don't appreciate it on the hunt. So, but I know when I show stuff like that on my channel, I get comments and all kind of stuff. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna start just showing all stuff. And if I show it on the hunt, I show it on the hunt. But if not, Y'all got to see it here. So nothing against the hunt. I love the hunt, a lot of fun, but it's going down next week with a lot of different matches. So let's be on the lookout for that. But you got anything you want to show? I know you did some videos to let people know. I know you did some couple videos. You got the 400 subscribers.
Yeah. I haven't put it up yet, but I did record a video. Actually, I got a mail call. It was last week. And I got it, I want to say on last Wednesday. So basically a week ago. And then I actually opened it on Friday. I don't know, on Saturday, last Saturday. So I recorded it and then put the just made it, but I didn't actually put the video up. So I'll go ahead and put that up so everybody can see it. And that actually ended up coming from Cali Comics. He just sent me something out of the blue, which was pretty cool. So go ahead and put that up. Yeah.
That's some of the best stuff when you get like this stuff out the blue.
Yeah, it just was like, just one day he was like, "Oh, I need your address. I'm gonna send you something." Like, "Oh, cool." And then it ended up being, I think delayed by the storm, but it got here and it was good, and everything came through with no problems. And then so I did, went ahead and unboxed it. So I went ahead and did that, and then just I know I put up so I did the video about 400 subs, and then I did other just kind of continuation of other pickups and stuff like that. So those are up. If you haven't seen them, you want to go watch them, you can go check that out on there. And like I said, I think I said in the last video on this one, like if you have any questions or want to just leave comments or whatever, just go ahead and leave a comment and I will answer you, just because I have no problem with interacting with people and everything like that. So I usually don't get a lot of comments. I haven't in a while, just because I haven't really made videos. But just in general, it's kind of cool that just to kind of see what everyone's thinking, or just if anyone wants to talk through the comments and everything like that. So I will have that up. The other one that I recorded probably tomorrow. Just get that all together and everything, and then I probably, I don't know if I'll make another video this week, but I do have that one, the mail call from Cali, ready and recorded and everything.
We forgot to grade the show so far. So I'll give it a grade so far. What I think the show, and I'm gonna do like a slab grade of it. So far 5 episodes in, 1 episode left. Building up stuff. I'm gonna stick at a 9.4.
Yeah.
Reason being is because I know Thrawn is the big bad for probably the movie. But we've had like the one fight scene with the semi villain. I would say like kind of villain, the guy Jedi. But the witch in the show, she's to me the bigger villain in this whole show.
Yeah.
And they had a fight scene before, so it's like I don't know what's gonna happen. So that's why I give it like a 9.4, because I'm kind of like, what's gonna happen in the last episode? I know we're gonna get probably a showing of Thrawn. He's gonna be back. We know that he's gonna be back, but is Ahsoka gonna be able to get any fight against the witch, the other Jedi, or Sabine? So it's like a lot of kind of things I'm wondering what's gonna happen. So it's a 9.4 that could be higher, but it actually could drop like with this last episode.
Yeah, it depends on what the last episode does, but I say it's like a 9.4. The funny thing, and I say this, I have a couple questions of different things based on what I just characters that are being introduced on this show that I've never seen before. So as far as the, I guess, apprentice to the main guy, like I'm wondering if she also is a Night Sister as well, because it's kind of weird where it's like I see her and you can tell it like it's his apprentice. I did notice that she has that little Padawan braid. Like if you look at her hair, she's got the little Padawan braid that they all wear. And then so it's just like, oh, like maybe she's a former Jedi. I mean, she's a little bit young, so it's kind of hard to tell. But the other thing is that, like, I wonder if she may have been also a Night Sister, or she has connections to that and stuff. The way I know about them is through the was it Jedi Survivor video game. That's where I kind of got introduced to them, because you end up fighting a bunch of them in the game. So it's just like, oh, like, so that's what these things are. Okay. So but yeah, and the thing with Thrawn and everything like that is just like there's a lot that they are leaving out. There's a lot that they're not going to get to because of the fact that they're trying to move to something different later on. So I think that there's a lot of room to go. And like you said, I mean, it's tough to say, like you can't be like, oh, like it's been like a, perfect show or a 9/8 or something like that. It's very tough for that, just because of the fact that the last episode, I mean, you would hope that, they're going to say the best for last, but you never know. Like maybe they give you, maybe, these last two episodes were the best, and then the next one's kind of like just kind of filler to get you where you need to go and say, okay, we're going to put you as far as we can to this cliffhanger. All right, there's a cliffhanger. See you later. And we'll pick it up whenever. But so that's always the toughest part with that type of stuff. So I think it's a solid 9.4 for now. And like Huda said, could get better. Although it could drop. Who knows? Like if the last episode doesn't deliver, you could be looking at an 8.5.
Yeah. You're right. You got to deliver something besides just showing us Thrawn. We know they're gonna show him.
Yeah.
It has to deliver on some stuff. Has to be closed. Like the witch has to be done. She has to be done.
Which is nothing but smirk. That's a whole thing.
Yeah, and like she had that one. They had the fight scene in Mandalorian, Mando. They show, but I think that we need that round too. That's what it looks like. But
she's gonna smirk.
So something gotta happen with that. Another Jedi guy. I don't know what's gonna happen with that, because I don't know if they're gonna kill him off, which kind of sucks, because the guy who played him,
he died in real life.
Yeah, really died in real life. So, and how they making it? How does it feel? It feels like he doesn't die. That's just how I feel about it. The reason behind it, because they dedicated episode 1 to him, and it's like, you dedicate episode 1, that means he's probably gonna be around a little bit longer, but they gotta have to recast it. So technically yes, we'll say yes, it should be called Ahsoka, but you can say it's Ahsoka, or you can say Rebels when they do the subtitle Ahsoka. You can say it's that. But it should be called Ahsoka, because she is the main focal point of the show.
Yeah,
even though they have a lot of other Rebel characters.
Yeah, and there hasn't really been any episodes where like she's not there and not featured. Where it's like, all right, it's a Ahsoka show, but it's like, no, but we're just talking about Sabine Wren the entire time.
It wasn't like the Boba Fett show when they had. When Mando was like one episode was him, you're like, wait, where's Boba Fett?
Yeah, so there's definitely something where it's her show. There's nothing that's stopping it from being her show. So I mean, in that aspect, it's good, because you're getting a good dose of Ahsoka. Like Ahsoka's not left out of anything for any like really extended period of time, which is good. But the thing, like, I mean, kind of like the episode of Mandalorian where it was like that rehab center, and you're kind of looking at, all the former Imperials getting rehabbed. Like it's like that whole episode had like next to nothing to do with Mandalorian at all. It was just this one thing to set up that this person is still evil, which was, I mean, you didn't need a whole episode for that. Like you could have established that in like 5 minutes. But the thing is that if you wanted to call it Rebels, you could, just because of the fact that there's a bunch of characters that carry over. As much as they mentioned that Ezra guy, like, it's definitely strong ties to it, which is why I say, I would go back and watch it. It's something that I would take a while to get through, but I feel like in order to fully understand what they're talking about and why Ezra's held in such a high regard, I would need to see that to be like, okay, now I understand why they're talking about him and what he did.
Yeah. So yeah, it's but yeah, I think we probably both gonna be touching base on that show. Just probably gonna take us a while.
Yeah.
But last thing before we end it, shout everybody out. 3.5 months to the end of the year. Any last collecting goals that you got to say the book because we both on the hunt. I might not say the books, but I'll say I do have some last collecting goals for before the end of the year. A couple things I'm making payments on. So it's I do have a couple of goals on the things that I want to complete. Um, so I do have that on my mind. A couple of them, well, actually, one would be on my list. So people who are on the hunt, you can actually look at my list that I did do that Chris helped me with. I appreciate him delving with that, do that layout. But so I do have one book I am working on that is on that list. Um, but besides that, I am getting stuff, but I'm slowing down as far as the investment, to buy, to sell, type of stuff. I'm still doing it, but it's not as heavy. Um, so because I want to get these other goals, but I'm just gonna slow down a tad bit so I can maybe get full, get more force into it in 2024. So that's me. I am still going to the goal of getting a book maybe towards before the end of the year. Um, and I'm still buying and selling stuff to help fund that goal. So, but yeah, my collecting goals are still intact. I'm not selling the whole collection. People ask me, "You selling your whole collection?" Now I really want to sell like maybe 40% of my collection. None of my daughters, the books I purchased to put for her, her collection. None of her books, and none of my turtle books or my African American characters that I've been collecting. So it's going to be like those off things like the FF6 I have or the FF2, stuff like that I want to sell to fund other stuff. So just let people know because I had a lot of DMs about that. I want to sell everything that doesn't fit my collection, if that makes any sense. So I want to keep like my FF1 because my ultimate goal is to get like FF1, AF15, like these big Silver Age books, DC and Marvel. But I don't need an FF2 or FF6 or FF3, even FF5. I could use that to fund those like AF15 or Hulk 1 that kind of fit my personality as far as my collecting goals. So I just wanted to put that out there for people because I know people had DM. You still trying to knock maybe one or two books out?
Yeah, I actually missed on one last week. Like, I mean, when I say I missed, I mean I have like it just was it was counting down, and it was a really good price, and like I had a feeling it was gonna be kind of tough to get, but it's like I put my bid in with 2 seconds, and just somebody else, like somebody bid at the exact same time, and I was like, fuck. So but there's a bunch of stuff I've seen. There's a bunch of stuff I want to get. It's just some stuff is very expensive, and other stuff is just like it's available at times when I don't have the money for it. So it's just like I can afford this. I just don't have it right now. And then things that I do have, like when I do have it, it's just like, oh, everything's like through the roof. So it's just like and then the hard part too is just that trying to just I guess get that done. Like I know I'm going to one more show, so it's trying to figure out how I want to do that, and then saving money for that show, and then also getting a couple other books. So I'm always looking for things, and always looking at different sales and stuff like that. And it's just like there's just not much I can do. And as I was looking at, like I was looking at a couple of sales, and people had books I wanted, but they were just not the condition I wanted. So I'm trying to be, I guess, not consistent, but I'm trying to be kind of focused on that. Where it's just like I'm not just gonna pick up any old book um, because it's this book and not worry about condition whatsoever, just because there's a reason I was looking for it in a certain condition. So even though sometimes things might be a better deal at certain spots, it's like I really don't want anything that's like just beaten to death or is basically falling apart, because it's like that's when I have a hard time saying, even though it is cheaper, and even though it's an expensive book in a higher grade, but it's cheaper here. It's just like, but I can't justify spending what, like, let's say something that should be around $500 and like a 5.0, getting something that's maybe like a 2.0 for 180. It's like, I still can't justify spending 180 on a book that's falling apart. I just can't do that. That's just me. So in terms of that, like that's kind of where everything is tough. So the good thing that I'll say is this, at least in my thought process of it, is that when it comes to books, especially if it's like characters that are tough, because you would think, speculation is going to drive these things. That's one of the benefits, I think, of the writer's strike a little bit, is that speculation is very tough now, because it's not as, at least in my opinion, it's not as just crazy driven by like rumors, because there's not a lot of rumors you can go by with that you can put 100% faith in, just because of the fact is, even if they say this is gonna be like, this character's 100% coming, when in 3 years, 4 years, that's crazy. So it's like I got time to wait before the Fallout real announcement happens, and then the trailer and all the rest of that jazz. So in a way, like, I'm looking at it from a little bit more of a patient perspective, and then just kind of looking at it and saying that seeing what everything is, just because I'm just looking at how certain things are going, and so some stuff is coming down, or not everything's down. Don't believe everyone's like, no, comics in general are all down. It's so easy.
No, not everything.
It's not true at all. Like this, I can tell you a book off the top of my head that hasn't really come down at all, and it's still expensive. And that's I Am Man 55. I Am Man 55 is holding its value. I don't care what anyone says.
Like you said, certain books we both know that we kind of after has been holding its value. Yeah, it's on our list. And I know you've been talking about that book a long time, Iron Man 55. And for me, it's been oh man, I'm trying to think now. Got to think of my list really good. It's the Talia al Ghul in like a 9.0. Yeah, that's been steadily, if you could find it, it's staying at the 9.0 or better, staying at the price, and nothing is going on with your book or the book I'm after.
Exactly. There's nothing happening with the book that's staying there. And then what's funny is a lot of books that I'll call nostalgia books, seem to have gotten this really good bump. And there's outside of certain things with them, like you can speculate on certain stuff, like, oh well, this is happening, but it's like it's just this. Like I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of video game character books that are very expensive now. It's really crazy when you think about it.
And they have some that are super cheap. Like the first Donkey Kong is cheap.
Yeah,
it's crazy. The first Zelda, cheap. Oh, is it Link? I can't remember who's in that book, but whatever book it is, I think it's Zelda.
You gotta really have to look for those, because those are tough. Because like when you look at the first issue of Zelda, that book is kind of expensive. That book is not easy. It's not. Put it this way, it's not super expensive to the point where it's not
If you got $100, you can get your copy. It won't be a near mint copy, but you can get you above a mid-grade copy if you got $100.
The thing though, too, with that though, and the really hard part, and I'll say especially with that book, is that you have to really, really look at it and make sure that it's not the second print, because the second print and first print look almost identical. It's a situation where you really have to.
You could luck up and get the no price variant too.
Yeah,
but, that's something else to talk about. I want to end it because I had to eat, but I want to answer not near me. I got to answer this question because I just looked up the GPA. I thought I was right, but I always like to confirm. You picked the AF-15 because it's cheaper. In a 2.0, it is significantly cheaper than a new Lincoln SUV. Yeah, trust me, I know, because I just was looking at vehicles, and you're talking about $40,000 compared to $15,000. I think
Yeah.
I'll get the $15,000. If I have the money to get a $40,000 vehicle, I'm going to get the $15,000 comic book, and then I'm going to get a cheaper used vehicle for 25.
But you know what's funny? What's funny is that the fact that question exists. Oh, would you get this or that? It's just like you're talking about a comic book versus getting a car. It's pretty funny that is.
Yeah, but the price comparison is not even close. So it's like
Yeah.
that's why he would have to say like A15, like maybe 60, I guess 60, to get close to the price of that car. Because you're talking about a Lincoln SUV, not a Honda SUV, a Lincoln.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing I would say you probably have to get a 4.5. I'm looking at GPA now. 4.5, 45,000. I'm guessing a Lincoln would be around that price.
But
it might be even more. But yeah, but I would still go for the 2.0 and get a cheaper car. That's just me. But anything else you want to mention, or anybody else in the chat that got anything else want to say before we go? Because I'm tired, I'm hungry. Make sure you check out The Hunt. I'm gonna promote that one. He's probably gonna say it as well. Check out The Hunt next week. A lot of big matches. Definitely check out The Hunt next week. I don't think I have. I might do. I do have. I already packed it up. Never mind. I don't have a packing chat because I already packed through the books because I was preparing to do this show, so I just knocked that stuff out. So I don't have anything going on my end. I might talk about Dave Chappelle comedy show that I'm going to see Friday. So you might see something different on my show, talking about the experience there. How was it? I recommend people go and see it. I love Dave Chappelle, so I'm probably gonna be kind of biased on it. So it has to be a very bad experience, and we're gonna knock on wood that doesn't happen. But yeah, going to see him Friday with my wife, and I might talk about it, and maybe like Saturday or Sunday. So that's all I got going on. I know Chris had some stuff he had going on, so.
Yeah, just gonna put up that video for that mail call for Cali, and then other than that, I just need to record a couple more so I can have some stuff to kind of go ahead and show. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a video every week or how that's gonna full out work. I mean, I would, I wouldn't mind putting out a video every single week, but
it's hard, man. It's hard.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and just put myself in a position where I can't keep up with it, but I'm gonna do my best to get things recorded and get things ready to show. So, and then of course always you can check me out on The Hunt, and then on Bleaker's channel on Sundays. When I have time and when I'm available, I'll be on there for Bleaker's church show. So that works. But
definitely check out Bleaker. Like, if I'm available, I usually pop on as well. We didn't get any super chats to give away the slab. It's all right. I'll try to do something like a giveaway every show. So this be prepared next show. Maybe I'll do something a little bit cheaper. $30 might be too much for people. Like if one person would have did $30, it would have won. So that's what we had to be to get that book. But you probably see that on auction with Sands. But yeah, I'll try to do a giveaway on the next show as well. So just be prepared if you want to win a giveaway. Even like I'll do it as $1, so it'd be like every dollar gets an entry, and we'll just do a wheel spin at the end. So that's it, man. I appreciate everybody stopping through. You guys who are watching it on the rewind, please thumbs it up. Please share it because we get a lot of replay on the rewind that I've noticed. More so than the live. So I do appreciate everybody who are friends of ours, who are maybe acquaintances of ours that watch it on the rewind. Because I do appreciate you guys doing that. So please, please, please thumbs it up and get the word out because I've been liking that a lot of people have been watching the rewind. So that's it, man. Y'all have a great weekend coming up because tomorrow is Thursday. So a couple of more days. Well, actually Thursday and Friday, then you got the whole weekend. So definitely enjoy. Y'all got anything going on, please be safe. And that's it, man. Appreciate Rob, appreciate Bleeker. Then y'all stay towards the end, and everybody else that stopped by, I do appreciate you guys as well. So see you guys on the next show in a couple of weeks, man. Peace.